Hi, tiptoechic. I'm working on your painting. It's running a little behind schedule, but it's getting there. Okay, I wanted to respond to your ghost story vlog you made today. Yes, I believe in ghosts. My mother was very ill. We knew she was going to die. The doctors had told us she was going to die, and it would be soon. So in the interim, while we were waiting for this, she'd like to read those Inquirer magazines, and the ones that talk about two-headed babies and aliens from another planet, or stealing my babies, and or whatever, those crazy things. So one day I was at her house, and I was reading one, and it was about a mother. Son calls her from the grave, and inside the article it said something about she answered the phone and it was nothing but static, but she knew it was her son. And I just started laughing, and my mom started laughing. I said, how does she know that's her son if the phone was nothing but static? And I looked at my mom and I said, okay, when you die, you had better call me from the grave if there is any way, shape, or form you can do that. And so we made a pact that day that she would call me from the grave if she was able to. Well, so 2 years go by, and she dies, and I'm at her house about 3 days after we buried her. I'm at her house and I'm cleaning. The phone rings. I'm alone, by the way. Totally alone. I'm just cleaning the place up, and the phone rings, and I pick it up, and it's nothing but static. Okay? I was like, oh my God, this is totally my mom. I knew it was. I felt good. I felt good knowing that she called me from the grave. I felt good knowing that she was okay to call me from the grave. I felt bad because I couldn't understand anything she was saying, but I still knew that she could hear me, so I thought she could. Maybe she couldn't, but I talked to her for about 5 minutes, and then I kind of felt silly sitting there talking to nothing but static on the telephone. So I said my goodbyes, and I did my weeping, and I hung up. But I was only on the phone for maybe 10 minutes most, but I think more like 5. Well, a little while goes by, and the guy who was my boyfriend at the time, he came over to the house, and he was banging on the door, and he was all upset. He ran up on the porch, and he was like, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like, what? What is the matter? He said, I have been calling here for like 2 hours. He goes, who have you been talking to? I said, I haven't been to. I said, oh yeah. I said, that's right. Mom did call, and I talked to her for only like 5 minutes. And he went, oh my God, it's time to get you out of here. Come on, honey, you got to go home. And I'm like, no, I'm fine, really. And I didn't understand why he wanted me to leave and go home. But now, I think about it, oh wow, he must thought I was a nutcase. I only talked to my dead mother on the phone for like 5 minutes. Okay, whatever. So anyway, well, and then my dad, he came to live with me after my mom died. He lived with me and my 2 daughters, and they were just little, probably about 6 and 8, I think, at the time he died. And he came to live with us, and I told him about what the whole phone thing with Mom and everything, and how I thought it was a coincidence. I wasn't sure. I thought it could be a coincidence, So I made a pact with my dad. He was very sickly, asthmatic, and emphysema and everything, and I said, if there's any way you can call me, or I said, you know what? I said, let's do something that only you and I know about, something that's very meaningful to you and me. I said, it's got to be something like that, so that way I know there's no chance of me misinterpreting or thinking that it's a coincidence, okay? Well, I was really sad when my dad died, because he died in my apartment, and my kids came home and they found him. So that was really sad. But well, anyway, okay. I had, by my front door of my apartment, I had 3 baskets, big, medium, and small, hanging on the wall right by the door as you come in. And every time my dad went in or out the door, he would knock one of those baskets off the wall. And we kept getting into like these little tiffs over this. He'd say, "Why don't you move these baskets somewhere else?" And I'd say, "No, I'm not going to, because you're the only one that has a problem with it." I said, "The kids can go in and out that door, I can go in and out that door, and we never knock a basket off. So no, I'm not moving them. I like them there, and that's where they're staying." Well, anyway, make a long story short, he died at home. And the kids called me at work, and I rushed home from work. By the time I got there, the EMT was there, and they were packing him up on the gurney and everything. And as they were taking him out, I was crying. I was so upset. I was sitting at the dining room table, which looked right directly to the front door, down the hallway to the front door. And I was sitting at the dining room table crying hysterically. The girls had already gone to a neighbor's, and she was feeding them chicken and, making them feel as good as she could, I guess. But so I'm sitting there and I'm crying my eyes out, and the EMT is wheeling him out on this gurney, on this stretcher type thing, and his one foot was kind of cocked off to the side like this, off the gurney a little bit. And when they wheeled him, and I'm watching them with tears, I can't even see it. It's so clouded with these tears just rolling down my face, and I'm crying hysterically. As they wheeled him to that front door, that one foot kicked that basket off the wall. And I just busted out laughing. It was hysterical. I went crazy laughing, all right? Well, the EMT people, they were in shock. They turned around and they're like, "Are you all right? Do we need to give you a shot?" And I'm like, "Oh, Lord, no. I can't. I'm scared to death of needles. I'm fine." I said, "I'm fine." And I explained to the EMT people why I was laughing hysterically. They must have thought I was a real nutcase. But yeah, so my dad kicked the basket off the wall as he was going out the door for the last time. Now you tell me, is that a ghost? Or is it a coincidence? I say ghost.